Well, good morning, my amazing people. You all are fantastic. I want you to know that. So, before we get into this, let me just tell you something about all of you. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you. And not only that, but if you're waking up and you're listening to this podcast, or if you're just drinking your coffee, or if you just got finished yelling at your boss and you listen to this podcast, I want you to know that you are an amazing person. You are important. You are funny. If you say you're serious, I guess you're serious too. But I just want you to know that. So that's your positive dose right there. Right in the beginning, before we even just jump into this, I want you guys to know this about yourself. So, for those of you who are new and just joining us for the first time, I would like to say welcome to the Connect 0007 podcast, where the human connection is everything. And I am your host, Thaddeus Sims. And today's episode is going to be titled, actually, let me say this first. It's the 43rd, it still sounds weird to me, 43rd episode. And the title is called Currency of Time. And I meditated on this because I was like, what am I going to say today? What am I going to say, for the amazing people? And immediately my intuition was just like time. I'm just like, okay, so how I'm like, I have to have these inner dialogues with my intuition. I'm like, okay, so how's this helping them? Like, what is it going to do with, people? And I'm just like, you know what? I've learned enough to not question. Let me just go ahead and write it down. And sure enough, it started to come together. So welcome for the ride. Now, announcements. So it is Tuesday, and again, for those who are on the email list, you already know this. So, you can pat yourself on the back and just say, yeah, I knew this already, bruh. But for those of you who do not know, the next new shirt is released, and this is the Lightning shirt. And honestly, I've been waiting to release these shirts too, because they're with there's some other ones. I was almost about to ruin the surprise. This shirt, I've been excited to release this shirt because this has to do with one of the elements, and lightning is in particular one of my favorite elements. But seeing this shirt, it really just charges me up, and I know for other people, it gives off that energy from it. It also expresses your greatness. On the shirts, you'll see the link and below. You can click on it and check out the shirt. And also, if you follow me on social media, you'll see it too. But it's literally just says raw, powerful, and other stuff. Sorry, I'm really just thinking about how amazing the shirt is. You'll see it. It literally is just caution, greatness is among you. You have to check out that shirt. It's just, and it's purple. And to be honest, after I made this, for those of you who are in my generation, if you know about Static Shock, I don't know, that kind of came to me a little bit too. So, if you love Static Shock, there's that. So guys, check out that shirt and let me know what you guys think, because some of these releases, you guys have really fell in love with these shirts. So I am super excited for that. Now, diving into the fun fact here before we really get into this episode, this one is a bit, I don't know, educational. So the fun fact is snakes can help predict earthquakes, and they can sense a coming earthquake from 70 miles away up to 5 days before it happens. So for those of you on the West Coast, if you got some snakes around and they seem like they acting a little, throwed, or they acting a little upset or bothered, might have that coming, you know what I mean? But, that's something you guys on the West Coast are probably used to. For some of us who don't get earthquakes, that's a new thing for us to learn. So there's that. Now, getting into the episode. So, currency of time. I'm going to break this up into three things: investment, savings, and wasting. So we're going to start with the investment portion when it comes to your time. So when it comes to the investment, the main thing is that you want to be aware of who you invest your time in and who you don't invest your time in. So, first off, you want to invest, time into yourself. And I know a lot of us, we have different schedules, we have different priorities, responsibilities. Some of us have kids, big families, and things like that. But it's important that you invest some time in yourself, because if you don't, it throws things off. You're not really in harmony too much. You kind of feel stressed. You kind of feel pulled in all these different directions. So it's important to take a lot of time for yourself. And I know I've mentioned this before in different podcasts, but we're really focusing in on this. And when I say invest time in yourself, guys, it doesn't have to be a whole day. I know some of us want that. It doesn't have to be a whole week, though some of us would love that. But, simple things like 20 minutes for yourself, 30 minutes. If you can't even do 20 minutes, do 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Really just make it a priority to invest your time into yourself, because it'll make you a better you for you and your family and all the other responsibilities. So other examples, if you wake up, let's just say at a certain time, if you could wean yourself, like if you don't have the time to like do other things, if you could wean yourself to maybe wake up 15 minutes before you normally do to start your day, and use those 15 minutes for yourself, like, either reflect or, whatever you got to do just for yourself, just to kind of slowly wean yourself to just give yourself some time to, okay, this is my me time. No one needs me right now. Let me gather myself. Let me reflect. Let me see if I need to, fix myself up. You know what I mean? So what you really want to do is just take that time for yourself and invest it into yourself. That's the first thing that you want to do. Again, it'll make you a better you. The second thing is that you want to invest in your loved ones and those who are helping you out for your highest good. Obviously, you want to invest time into family, those you love, friends, those you care about as well. And also I wanted to say in those who are helping you out for your highest good, because let's face it, we all have things that we're trying to accomplish and we're trying to do. And the people who are helping us, it would be wise of us to invest that time. And it isn't, again, guys, this doesn't have to be like days. This could be an hour. This could be 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Any investment will go a long way, I'm telling you. So for those people who are helping you out for your highest good, that would definitely be good. So for me, I would invest my time, obviously, in my myself, my family. I love my little niece. She's my little angel. And also other people who may not be family and they may not really be close friends, but they are people who have some knowledge on some things that would definitely help me out in the long run, be it business, be it personal, health, things like that. You want to invest that. And then third is it's okay to not invest your time into certain people. And I really want to talk about this because I feel as though what I've been noticing is that's kind of been something I've been experiencing in my life, and also a good amount of people in my life who, have different backgrounds. And one of the things that we've had to really, I would say, be aware of is who are the people that we need to not invest our time in, the people who are draining our energy, those who aren't really just helping us in any way, those who are negative, things like that. And being aware of those people and also knowing it's okay to let them go. I want to say it's okay to let them go because I'm going to be honest, guys. Some of these people may be your family members. Some of these people may be your friends that you grew up with for so long and they done been there for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you, that's hard. That really is. And this isn't something that you do overnight, but you really have to make that decision. Like, is it helping you? And if it's not, you want to let those people go. There was a post that I seen, a 1-minute video. This lady was saying that, a lot of the people are not going where you're going. So you have to leave them where they're at, let them go, get lighter, get better, and things like that. And part of letting them go is being aware of who is it that you're investing your time in. You know what I mean? And also, who are you not supposed to be investing your time in? You'll find that when you don't invest your time into other people, it would lead to the second part, which is saving your time. Are you guys seeing what I'm doing here? Currency of time, money. No? Okay. Saving your time. So that's the next point that we're going to get on. Now, with saving your time, this one it's really kind of self-explanatory. But for those, it's basically what you want to do is save your time by doing what you're called to do. Your dream, or listening to that inner voice. Because some of us may not really know what our dream is, but some of us just have like this knowing or this inner voice like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm not supposed to do this. You have an inkling. And what you want to do is figure out what that inkling is. That's part of the journey there. Or whatever it is that you're called to do. Some of us, we just know this. So no matter where you're at in the process, either you know what you're called to do, you have your dream, or you're listening to that inner voice, you will save time by doing whatever that is. So here's what I mean. When you do things outside of what you're called to do, you'll end up doing things that'll lead to wasting your time, which is the third point we'll get in a little bit later. But again, when you do things outside of what you're called to do, you'll end up doing things that lead to wasting your time. And some simple things, I can give you a quick example, would be when I know that I'm okay doing my podcast and things like that. Here we are. I know that if I was to not do those things, I'll end up hanging out with someone or doing an activity that completely just wasted my time. Like, I hung out with this person and this extra hour I gave them, it kind of ended in I kind of felt like felt kind of bad. This whole hour that I had, I could have been ahead in my planning or whatever I had to do, right? And you kind of feel bad. And after a while, I'm going to be honest with you guys, after a while, if you don't fix that, you're going to get comfortable doing that. So you'll get comfortable like wasting your time and feeling bad, and then next thing you know, that's kind of like a bad habit, like, right there in the making. So you kind of want to avoid that. The second thing is doing what you're called to do. It's going to save you time in the long run. So an example would be, for me, I was learning business. Almost 6 years ago? 6 years ago and then some. I had to learn about business, but in that aspect, I had to learn how to, develop myself. I had to learn personality things. I had to learn confidence, things like that. And I knew at that time, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go here and learn from this individual. If I did not do that, and I wanted to, let's just say 6 years, from then, I was like, I actually want to start a business now. I actually want to learn. Then that means that process, I would have to learn, okay, the self-confidence. I would have to learn the business books, a mentor. I would have had to go through all of that stuff, which if I was to have done later on earlier down the line, it would have saved me time, which I can say it has, because now when I'm doing something business related, it's like ingrained. It's like, oh, I learned this, go here, go there. Oh, okay, I know that they're gonna say this, but I know I just need to go here. It'll save me time. I know not to talk to an individual, just go online and I'll get it done in 2 minutes. So when you're doing what you're called to do, it will save you time in the long run. And some of you guys can relate to when you do something and when you finally kind of get a hang of like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to do. You'll discover that there were things that you were attracted to in the past that you'll need at that time for whenever you're doing what you're supposed to do. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I learned this or did this because I don't have to do that again. I already got it. You're already prepared. The third thing is doing what you're called to do. It will save you time by closing the doors on the opportunity for distractions to come and waste your time. So here's what I mean. One of the things that I learned from my mentors in the past was a simple thing that I'll never forget. There was times where we had to, get money up for, different events that we had to go to. One of the things they taught me is that the minute you get the money to do something, get it done right then and there, because the longer you wait, you're literally opening up the opportunity more for something to come up, and you have to use that money for something else, right? Some of us have been there, and if it's not with money, you kind of get the gist. If you have the time to do it right there, do it. So when you're doing what you're supposed to do, it will save you that time by closing those doors of opportunity for distractions to come. And that will waste your time when the distractions come. And we've been there. You're supposed to do something, but you're like, I'm going to wait 30 minutes. I'm going to go do this. Next thing you know, a whole 3 hours pass, and now you're rushing to do stuff. And then now you're in traffic, cussing out this red car in front of you because they're driving slow. But if you were to, actually do what you're supposed to do, you would have been home. But whole other topic. And then this leads to the third and final point is of wasting your time. And the point of this is really to be aware when you're wasting your time. And I feel like some of us, we're aware when it's too late. And it's good to be aware beforehand. So just a few things is the first is hanging out with others who bring no value to your life. That is an indicator right there that, okay, you're kind of wasting your time there because this person really isn't adding value. And we've been there before. You'll go with someone, especially when there's something you're supposed to do. You hang out with people and they add no value. Like, it was kind of like, the best way I can describe it was just a waste of time. I'm really trying to give you guys a simple example. Like, here we go. Okay. We've all had that time where we were debating whether or not we wanted to hang out with an individual. And, we go through the emotional things like, do I want to? Do I not want to? But I haven't seen him in a while. I probably should. I'm gonna feel bad, blah, blah, blah. And you finally decide to do it, right? You go and you hang out with the person, and the conversations is kind of like not really going nowhere. You're really asking a bunch of questions. You're kind of like, okay, what should we even talk about? You just kind of like, it's like a blah. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like a blah. And then finally, you leave. And then after, it's just kind of like, why did I even go? That was a waste of time. You know what I mean? So be aware of the people that you hang out with, currently, and ask yourself, do they add value to my life? And do they not? If they don't, now you're away. You have an indicator. Okay, I should not be going over there with them because I will waste my time. And that may sound harsh to some people, but I'm telling you, if you really look at it for what it is, it's going to, save you some time. You won't waste it. Now, if you're all about wasting your time, by all means, go ahead and do it. Let's be honest. The second thing is doing activities that don't benefit you in any way. So that's an indicator as well. So, I don't think I have to go through an example for you guys with that. But, just in case I do for, that one person or two is, okay. Try to really think of something here, an activity that don't benefit you in any way. I'm probably going to be attacked for this, but I love y'all. So I've had some friends who've told me that, they're going to stop smoking because when they smoke, they just become so unproductive. And that's an activity for them where they're like, I really do need to stop. But, they kind of don't. Some of them do, but the ones who are honest with me and they'll tell me I do need to stop because I was supposed to go and plan out this business idea. I was supposed to plan out this time with my girl. And I just smoked and I just fell asleep, and I felt like I just wasted a whole day. If I wouldn't have smoked, I would have like had the time to do blah blah blah. So that's a simple activity. You can, let your imagination run wild with that, but just be aware. Like, I just know for me, I guess an activity for me would be like, if I would not I would not go to a car show. That's just an activity that's just not for me. That is not doing anything for me at all. Maybe my brother, he loves cars, but that does nothing for me. That is a complete waste of my time. So no. The third thing is the feeling of emptiness or unsatisfied, or, when you're not satisfied when completing a task. And that is an indicator that you're wasting your time. So an example would be, I can get very detailed for myself. And I know that sometimes I can get too detailed and it was really a waste of time. So I know, for example, I may say, okay, I want all of these colors organized in a certain way. And then I take my time to organize it in some cool way that I think is going to look very visual. And let's just say I spent 30 minutes on trying to make this look cool. And then by the time I'm done, I'm like, you know what? No, it just looked better just having it in some simple way. I literally just wasted like 20 minutes on this task, and it did nothing for me. Like, I honestly, I was very unsatisfied with that. I even thought of the idea. It was a complete waste of my time. So when I had that feeling like, okay, I'm just not satisfied, or I just had that feeling like, I just wasted this time, that did nothing for me. And I can actually give you a nice, good live example. Today, I had to go to deal with some city stuff because my city, apparently, the systems got shut down because their systems were hacked. And so I had to try to figure out ways around that by going to the main office for, business things. And I ended up having to go, 30 minutes west from my home. And then I had to go an extra 10 minutes west, only to come to find that it was a waste of time, that I had to go back to my city, which is the city that I needed to go and do the business, which literally was 3 minutes away from my house. I'm not lying to you guys. 3 to 5 minutes with red lights. So I wasted 40 plus minutes because I had to talk to other human beings in there. And if the lady, I'm so happy. If the lady did not check my paperwork, they said it was going to be a 4-hour wait. So you can imagine how that would have been. I would have been unsatisfied, would have not been the word. I would have been pissed. So that didn't happen. Thank you. Now, guys, that's really it on the currency of time. The whole thing is just, for you guys to really be aware of what you're doing with your time, because time is very valuable. Like, money is cute and all. We do need that. But, your time is super important. And for some of those who are in my generation, I am 20. How old am I? How old am I at? 26? I'm 26. Don't judge me, guys. I don't pay attention to it like that. Those in my generation, who are in my generation or younger, we hear this, but we don't really think, nothing much of it. We think, we're going to live forever. But someone asked me a very interesting question. Actually, no. I was in the middle of a conversation with someone, and they asked the question to this other person. They were saying that you don't know how valuable your time is. And the boy was like, yeah, I know. Everybody says that. He was like, do you know how much someone who would, let's just say who is 80 years old would pay to be your age again? And that, he wasn't talking to me, but that hit home. And it was just like, whoa, I didn't really think about that. He was like, if the option was available for someone to buy your time, in a sense of they were 80 and they were able to pay you to say, hey, I would pay you $300 million to be your age again. The importance of your time is insane. So when he said that, that blew my mind away. And that's just something for you guys. Like, I hope that hits you in a way that makes you think like, okay, wow, my time is very important. And I will say, when you're younger, you do feel as though like, man, I have a long ways to go. So I'm not even on that level. So for you guys who are like 20 and lower, and younger, you do have a lot of time. But I will suggest, be aware of, like, use this to be really aware of the friends that you have now. And you're in that period where you do have the time to kind of, mess around a little bit. But, listening to this will kind of put you on game and put you ahead. Like, okay, let me really actually pay attention to these people, like my so-called friends, so you may not take it to the level that most of us would at this age or older. But this is something to put you like on game, to be very aware. So I just wanted to share that with you because that was an impactful moment for myself. And so really, the only activity that I could think of for you guys to end this episode is literally for the next 3 days, really be aware of what you're doing with your time and ask yourself, with these next 3 days, really ask yourself, am I investing, saving, or wasting my time? And really look at that. Don't, just ask yourself and then keep it moving and look at this, YouTube video of some cat, So really, actually, yeah, I went there. So really ask yourself like this question, and you will see it really will save you a lot of other unnecessary things that we go through in life. So with that being said, you all, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. You guys are amazing again. I appreciate you. I hope whatever it is that your dreams are, whatever it is that you are striving for, I hope today you get closer to it. I wish you peace and love and happiness. And honestly, the biggest thing that biggest thing that I'm benefiting from, that I wish everybody who's listening, is clarity. So I really, really, I'm not going to say wish. I really speak clarity in all of you guys' life. So I'm speaking that you all, get clarity on whatever it is that you need in your life, because clarity is amazing. So with that being said, guys, you have a fantastic rest of your week. Check out the shirt and let me know what you think in the comments on social media. And feel free, guys, to send messages of, certain topics you want me to talk about on the podcast. So by all means, do that. Might even have like a little question on there for you guys to comment on their social media. And with that being said, I am out, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Later.